Hola, Gen Z fam. We are back again with another one. I'll just say it's part two, continuation from the first episode. So, how are you guys feeling?
We are ice breaked.
But it's tense.
Yeah, this topic is tense.
It's really tense
Serious
because
one.
it
Sometimes
brings
you
out
might say
that
the wrong thing and then
Ish.
can't go back.
just be you and tell only the truth.
Mhm.
You know, there is a difference between an opinion and
And fact.
and facts.
Yeah.
Just say what is right. I think that is what matters the most. And also open up a room for learning new things. Don't just be an arrogant person and say, I believe in this and I'm bad. You know, there is a huge reason, or there is a reason why something is a belief. It means there is a slight percentage that it's not true. So if you believe in something and you don't have the heart to learn more, it means you're just one-sided and you're arrogant. So therefore you're not gonna learn anything. So just open a room of learning new things. Okay, so jumping right fast to our question. This one is a bit tense, but it's nice. It says, how do you think young men are influenced by what they see on their in their communities or social media about gender roles? Should I should I ask it again?
Yeah, simplify it. Yeah.
How do you think young men are influenced by what they see in their communities or social media about gender roles? Like, how do you think young men are being influenced? For an instance, when you grow up, they teach you, even in church, they teach you that a man is a provider. But in nowadays, men are looking for, okay, they teach you that a man is a provider, a woman should be submissive towards his man. But nowadays, men are looking for submissive providers, meaning they are looking for women who will provide for them. So it's a bit of that kind of question. You get my point? That it's okay for a man to have multiple partners, but it's not okay for a woman to have multiple partners. Like, how do you stand for those? How do you think you guys are being influenced in your communities when it comes to gender roles?
Usually I think it's from the pressure of status, like from your peers. Let's say you're dating your partner, right? And then your partner maybe is like not showing you the respect that you want. And then you know that that's gonna look like you're not really a man from the other men. From other men, they're gonna take you like, ah, this boy is being, why is he letting this woman disrespect him like that? So it becomes the pressure of, okay, fine, the only way I'm gonna make this woman respect me is maybe if I become violent, if I start being aggressive to her and
That is
whatnot.
when she's gonna start listening to me.
Yes, that's maybe like what I think maybe the young men are experiencing, like how maybe they can
They're
tend
being
to
influenced.
influence by the
Society.
And also others, they also, in terms if the guy himself doesn't want to be violent, he will rather maybe go and date someone else and put her in there just to know not the attention that he was giving to the partner will now give it to someone else. And when she will be wanting for that attention and love, that's where others will be like, other gents will be like, yeah, that's also maybe I might get my respect from them. That's what I can say. Taking multiple women.
I'd say sometimes because they don't understand some things that they get from social media. For like, for example, if there's a Andrew Tate speaks about men being alphas, things like that. Man.
Yeah.
But Ruella's just take it as in like, because I'm an alpha male, you have to do this and this, forgetting that they have to provide while being an alpha male. So we're striving from, we want to be alpha males, but we don't want to provide. Let's put it like this. And since we don't want to provide, our women will tell us what they want from us, then we tell them that you can't say such to us, leading to dish dish.
Okay, so the next question says, what do you think are some misconceptions men have about GBV? For instance, there is this one that I saw yesterday, and I was so perplexed. There is someone who posted and said, a lot of people are talking about gender based violence, but they are not really talking about what drove a man to beat that woman up. You get my point? So, like, what do you think? Again, the issue of rape and what so what. There are men who could come and say, we rape them because they wear short things, because they wear revealing things. And it becomes controversial because now, if a man is capable of raping a 3-year-old, a 2 months old, it's not really a matter of how women are wearing and presenting themselves. Because what could you find attractive in a 3-year-old? And then you come back, you say, we are raping them because they are wearing short things and revealing things. You get my point? Those are one of the misconceptions they might have. Some men out there have. Uguti, this is happening because of this. You get my point? What do you guys think are some other misconceptions men have out there?
You know, I'm sorry to say his name, but for me, maybe there's, when you are connecting electricity, and if you didn't connect the right cable, it will, like, there won't be power or something like that. So for me, maybe one of their cable is not right, because why? Because you have to, you know, as long as you are being yourself, why can't a woman be herself? You see, and no, you are raping them because of what they wear. It's not only about what they wear; it's about the cable is not right, and also the what is this? The last. That didn't it last. They have to know how to control their what they call this last or hormones, something like that. Be able to control that. Because it's not only about the women being wearing like this and that. What about there in America, in Miami? People are women walking naked, others walking in bikini, but nothing is happening. Why is it only here in Africa? You see, it's all about sharing the brain.
And making sure that the wire is connected
Minimize
well.
Connected. Yeah.
What do you have to say, Jara?
Mina, it's simple, madam.
Continue.
Yes.
I says you're being done.
Lovely.
Continue.
Madam, Mina say it's simple. Broilers are just hungry, madam. They just need to accept what they're just hungry. You can't say, Hore, you rape a lady because of how she dresses and how she looks. As you said, Unama 3-year-old are getting raped.
Yeah.
It's just pure hungriness, madam. They don't get what they want, madam.
And Chile.
Dog, it's wrong, but broilers are hungry, dog. I'm trying to remember, it's because of it's how do you rape a 3-year-old? Like
How?
like
A person can be your own daughter. And you go and rape
and when besides the rape part, then you asked us about what leads to GBV also. I think it's because some gents are okay. Most of gents are not more EQ, they're more IQ.
The cable is not connected.
Yes, man. So the EQ part hasn't connected, and it's because of broilers don't wanna be vulnerable. Yes, that they don't want to be like that towards their woman because they think maybe they'll take advantage of that. And then knowing that women are more EQ than gents because of women are EQ more than gents, and also if you feel like she's speaking hurtful things now, don't stay there because you'll talk more hurtful things and you wanna beat her. Instead of you can just vibe, take some breather. Yes.
And come back.
True. So for me, what I would say in misconception, well, I think I would speak on where it comes from rather than why is it there. So I think where it comes from is because people are much more ignorant. People are just like to raise a point without knowing exactly what's being spoken about. For instance, like someone's gonna say women are being raped because of what they wear. If someone says that, you can tell me that that person is ignorant, is not really aware of what's being spoken about. So, from my perspective, I think that person who says that will be talking maybe about someone who's a prostitute already. So, for prostitutes, that's how they dress. But then now he's painting that picture on someone who's not a prostitute, but then who's just free with their own body.
Oh my
Now
God.
they say they just dress because they maybe they're selling the body, that's why they dress that way. So for him, he says it's in other words, he is saying good for them. Whatever, if they're being raped, then it's fine because that's how they're dressed. So the misconceptions come from the ignorance and people not knowing like how deep this thing is. It's not just something that you can wake up in the morning and just comment on it, just whatever, just feel like
Yeah,
saying
you
it.
just say whatever that you feel like
Yeah,
saying.
like, you know, just maybe for you, that's how you are. Maybe you just tend to think, you know, women deserve to be mistreated, or be
Yeah.
abused domestically. So you think that now you just call an excuse to say, yeah, because that's how they dress.
Yeah.
So,
So are you trying to say that this thing is not true? It's just a cover. People are just using this thing of dressing as a cover.
yeah,
Actually, it's not that. It lies within someone.
So it's in him.
It's inside
Yeah,
some.
yeah.
Yes, they have those perverted minds, those aggressive minds,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
those lustful minds.
So they cover it on they're not blaming it on
Oh
women
yes, instead of facing it
Yeah,
like directly.
You know what I like what he said, man? When he says ignorance, now women are pushing an agenda how people hearts, women abuse, let's stop it. Then there are some providers now, at the same moment, at the same time, they post green hearts and saying men are not ATMs and like that.
I think
Like,
it's the same as what he's saying because they don't want to face this issue straight headed to say, you know what, guys, gents, we are wrong. Let us find a solution. We are wrong. They are trying to come up with something to stop this one because now they are scared to confront the truth. Oh my gosh, this is so nice. You know, because a lot of people are not seeing this and a lot of people are not really knowledgeable in this. Like, I've seen a lot of young men, they are really taking part in this thing of green hearts, what to what movement. And for me, it's not a bad thing. However, because it's not only women who are victims, yes, there are some men who are also. You get my point. But however, the spotlight was just for women.
And the timing.
And the timing too was not really the right time for them to come up with this whole thing. It simply just showed us that they don't care about women, and of which is really disturbing because they came out of a woman. So how can you be so vile and malicious over a gender that you also came from? This is so eye-opening. I hope that also people at home, also young men at home, are learning, you know, because wow.
But as for the gents, you know, shouldn't let your cable be unplugged. You have to keep it connected because like
There's also checks and check once
See,
in a
yeah,
while.
yeah.
you have to be your sister, brother, not brother's keeper, your sister. Like keep, you know, a woman, she's like a treasure. She's like because men come from a woman. They come from a woman and stuff. So it's like the way you run, like for a man, if I can come to you and say and insult your mother, you will fight me.
I'll beat you there.
You see. So that's also how we supposed to do that for all the women around instead of us. It's like when you're going to abuse a woman, it's like you're beating your own mother.
Oh my god,
There's
yeah.
people who do that, man.
You know, when you're abusing a woman, it's like you just picture the woman who you're abusing as your mother.
As your mother, how would you feel?
How would you feel?
Because that is also someone else's daughter. That is also someone else's mother. Like what? Yeah, it could be nice. Okay, another question says, why do you think some men stay silent or defensive when GBV is discussed? I think we have already spoken about we have already answered that one. Uti, it's because they don't want to face issues heads on.
Yeah.
They just want to, focus on other things instead of focusing on the real problem. They don't want to take accountability, actually. But I want to ask you, as a young man, like, is it also hard for you to realize when you are wrong, apologize, and try to be better? Or it's hard?
And then for me, it's hard to realize, but then I apologize. It's not hard to apologize for it. But for me to realize, oh, hey, you were wrong, I'll simply sit upon it and check. Then I'll come back and apologize.
Unless also the men, men have egos and stuff, like I can't apologize and stuff, but at times you have to be a bigger person, like if you know what you are wrong, you just come out and apologize and end the matter. Because instead of you covering up your wrongs, it will end up coming back to you. It's rather you know what you are wrong, and if someone else you didn't realize that you are wrong, but someone else helped you realize that here you are wrong. When you know you are wrong, apologize and let the matter go. That's how it has to be. See?
I would say for sometimes why you wouldn't apologize because maybe you've done it maybe for too long. But then and now it's like when you're looking back, you're like yes I was wrong. But then if I'm gonna say I'm wrong now, I'm gonna look like so you knew what you were doing, you did it on purpose. You knew very well along that you're wrong, but now you're apologizing now. So what exactly are you proving? So you start to ask yourself a lot of things like maybe if I don't apologize and just let things be and see where it ends. Which is not a good thing though, because at the end of the day, if you don't apologize, it means that you're gonna keep doing it again and again. So it's more important that you also try to like be realistic with yourself to say, yes, I was wrong. What am I gonna do differently the next time?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because.
But now, can I ask a question? But now, what if you are right, but you being right has hurt someone?
Yeah, you're still being taken as the person who is wrong, even if you are right.
No, I'm saying, what if you are right? Because believe me, sometimes a person can know that, fine, he's right, or she is right. But now, I'm hurt by the fact that
You're right.
it did not land well.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
sometimes you don't have, in terms of delivery or in terms of doing things, you really don't have the correct formula most of the times of delivering things well or communicating. Do you, young man, find it hard to validate someone's feelings and make them understand after? Or you just let them be? For an instance, I'm going somewhere with this. I want to show you guys something. For an instance, I'll take it you guys have girlfriends.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Okay. So if your girlfriend comes to you and they say, you know what, I did not like 1, 2, 3, and probably they were not understanding you well, and you meant well, ne? Are you then to be angry at her for being sad or hurt? Or you validate the way she's feeling, or whoever in that kind of a matter, maybe your mother, your sister, your father, ne? You validate the way they're feeling, and then you make them understand afterwards. Not that you want to prove a point, but because you want to come up with a solution. Do you young men also reach to that kind of level?
You know what
Or
I
it's
do?
hard?
You know what I do?
You just be angry also and say, you know what, mama, I'm leaving this house.
For me, madam, if I said the right thing that never landed the right way, I'll tell you, me now, my sister, I'm sorry for how I said it, but then I'm not sorry for what I said. It's how it is.
Like there's this musician, in one of his songs, he was like, because him, whenever he sings, he speaks wisdom, things and stuff. He said, don't blame the person who tells you the truth but blame the truth. Because the truth hurts. It started like by the truth hurts, but it's not the fault of the person who said it, but it's the fault of the truth. You check. So for a person who, if I come and tell you like something that is true, even though I didn't say it in front of you, but I say it in like two of us, like
you're insecure about it.
you become hurt and stuff. It's not good to your hurt at me. You are hurt at the truth. That's how how other people like their reaction comes out from there.
I like it if you put it like that, because it also brings us back to the issue that we're here for, gender-based violence. That, you know what, because mostly it happens when couples are fighting. Like, couples should also know that when you guys fight, are not fighting against one another, but you are fighting to find a solution to the problem. Because I think that is where the dish, as he said, starts. When you guys think you are fighting with one another, whereas there is something that is really making you guys to fight. Why not try to find a solution to that problem? You are fighting the problem, not one another. Because now, when you start feeling like I'm fighting you or you're fighting whoever, that is when the matters get to be physical.
And also, at times men, like I can be honest, we men have a lot of egos. We like she can't tell me anything. What does she know? We'll be like, if a woman tells you something in a way where you guys are looking for a solution, she's trying to come up with a solution, but you as a man, you're not taking her point. When you're not taking her points, that's also where she becomes angry. When she becomes angry, that's also where you also become angry. You start retaliating, like you don't want to take her point. You never know when her point is something that is going to help whatever you guys are finding a solution to. So it also needs a man to also put, take points of the woman's point instead of pushing her aside and taking only your points. That's also where you are using your power as a man. It's like, no, I'm the one who's the head of the house. The head of the house might be wrong, but answers can come from down there and then put it there.
That's why I don't like the saying when they say, hey, you can't alone. I don't like when people say that, because failure you are a head, but then what about the backbone going? But you'll be like this without a backbone now. The head needs a backbone, and if you can't listen to them, why are you staying?
See.
I think it comes from the partners trying to prove a point against each other. They both want to be right. Meanwhile, there's a problem, I bring up the problem, and then I say, okay, this is the solution. Maybe I don't even come with the solution. Maybe I just say, this problem is caused by you caused this problem. And then you also become defensive and say, no, why are you saying I came up with the problem? You also are the problem. Then it starts getting back and forth.
But I think it's just a matter of people having, because it's not only men who have got ego. I think the moment we start to dethrone this thing of men, a lot of things could go well. Like, also women have got ego. Do you get my point? The only way women and men are different is because of strength. I'll repeat that again. You get my point? The only way you are, and also as you are growing, if you could understand that, your life could be much more easier, because you will know that this lady, not that I'm bigger than her. I'm not actually bigger than her. She's also not bigger than me. We are all the same. You get my point? The only time where probably I could, overpower her is when it comes to strength, picking up big things, because then most women can't pick up cement and all of these things. But when it comes to other things, we are the same. So you can't quantify your power by physical strength. That is why gender-based violence is only based on when a man is angry, they will punish their wives by beating them up. That is where they're only gonna beat them up, really. But when it comes to success, a woman can be successful more than a man, just like a man. So if we could just dethrone this thing of saying man, everything could be fine. Also, when you grow up, you know that not everything is about you. You get my point? It becomes nice. Also, women, they understand that not everything is about me. You understand? The everything is about us existing. And we are not even existing, we're existence on its own. We are not touching that one. However, my point here is that, if you guys, as you are growing, ne, guys, go back to what I was saying on the last episode. Know who you are, ne? Know who you are, have your own voice. And once you have found your own voice, and it's not even a matter of finding because it's already there. You see that voice that you silence after a friend has given you advice, but you say, but me, no. It's already there. It's not a matter of you finding it. It's not a matter of you going back to it. You have been to it all along. It's just that you're not realizing. Now it's just a matter of you remembering that, you know what, I am my own self. You will see, once you remember that, you approach things differently. When you are fighting with a woman or when you are having issues with a lady, it won't come to a fact whereby you say now, but I am the control of the house. And I'm telling you, as a man, when it comes to a point that you have to say that verbally, just know that you have failed. Because you don't really need to say it, we need to see it. So, there are a lot of things that contribute to gender-based violence. However, I feel that if people knew who they were, and people lived by their own voice, a lot of things would be fine. For an instance, if I say lived by their own voice, if you are a man, let's say you are a man, and now you are feeling that I wanna take a wife. Let it be something that you want, not because church has told you that you should get married, not because your mother has told you that you should get married, not because that social media is saying to you, you come up appealing more when you are married. I am telling you guys today that if you are doing something because you wanted, you chose, you will know how to treat it. If you went to that lady and approached her, if you went to that lady and approached to be in a relationship with her, you wouldn't find yourself hurting her or beating her up because you chose to be there. Nobody forced you to be there. So if you chose to do something, if it was your choice to indulge into something, you give it your all, effortlessly so. But if it was because of church, when tough times come, this is the solution. I'm telling you, but if you chose that lady, even if she could be high, even if she could be wrong, you know what, you'd be sensitive towards her because you chose her. You get my point? So, gender-based violence is not something, I personally think it's not something that probably is because of what happened. No. You choose your own voice, be your own voice, and do your own things. Because now at the end of the day, if you do things because church told you to do things, because your mom said do things, because who said do this, who said do this, you encounter a problem. You married this lady now, and it's not because you really wanted her, but it's because your mom said she's a good lady for you. She's good. Go get married. When times are now tough, you don't know how to solve problems. You just think of dish because you really did not choose that. But I'm telling you, if you chose something, it's not easy to even say something bad to her, regardless of how wrong she is. You chose her. It was your decision, not someone else's decision. I don't know if it's making sense, but it's just a matter of choice. Fine, your parents are still grooming you guys now as you are growing, but you come of age whereby you are doing things on your own now. You are being your own person. And that is the time whereby you need to sit down and understand what works for you. Because what worked for your parents can happen and won't work for you. You get my point. And again, I think it goes back to your point saying that men usually take advices from their friends. How could you take advices from people you don't aspire to be? If your friend is abusive and you take advices from him, it means you are also abusive just like him. So, okay, one last question and then we close this one. I think we have what's the hour? What's the time then, Tase?
That's 9, so 27.
Okay.
Just 9 minutes.
Yo, we have elongated on this one. Okay, let's take this last question and then we go to a quick a break. So have you ever experienced or have you ever witnessed or experienced a situation that made you think about gender-based violence differently? Like, is there anything that has ever happened? These are personal questions now. Is there anything that has ever happened to you that made you think of gender-based violence differently? Yeah.
Like out of gender-based violence, or is
For an instance, um, gender-based violence most of the time is mostly focused on women, yes, and now the focus is women. But is there something that has ever happened to you and made you think otherwise? There could be a lot of things. Someone might say, just like the ones who are defending themselves on internet, that, you know what, we are doing this because they wear short things. You get my point? We are doing these things because they are bad and they are prostitutes, they are selling their bodies. Oh my God. So we are abusing them because they talk too much. So that is why we beat them. So is there anything that has happened and it made you think differently about gender-based violence?
For me, I would say,
If there's nothing, there's nothing. Don't lie. If there's nothing, there's nothing.
yeah. But then for me, I'd say, usually I used to think gender-based violence as something that maybe happened mistakenly, like it was not intentional. Maybe things got so heated up and then the guy decided to lay fingers on the girl. But then now I'm starting to realize that this thing is actually deliberate. Like these men who intentionally, like you see this one, so shy.
Yo.
You understand? Yeah, as they tell themselves that the woman is supposed to be beaten. But then at first I thought of it as
But we
something
are
that
rooms.
you know. So at first I thought of it maybe as something that maybe it happens unintentional, which maybe we just arguing. Hey, start putting it. Maybe she pushes me and then maybe I'm shy or something. That's how I thought maybe it was. But then according to what other men speak, how they defend themselves on social media, I can see that it is actually intentional. Like that's what you said yourself would die. I can go there around fast, so let me shy. So that's my experiences to like that changed how I see GBV. That sometimes it's intentional, but then sometimes there is a mistake. But then even if it's a mistake, it shouldn't happen again. It shouldn't be something that's
Mistake yani. Mistake
Mistake.
trying to bump.
Mistake. Umuntu sithi nje ngiyacabanga nje.
Yakudonsa maybe
Uyamshaya ngesandla.
No.
Mistake. Yena sekayibeka ngokuthi mhlambe umshayile.
Oh, it's not good to shy. You were just trying to get away. Or back to what you were also saying, that you were just trying to remove her so that you go, and then she goes and say Umshai.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
understand.
if you push we are.
Okay.
She goes to the next one and say, yeah, very umshayile.
Oh, understand. When Fungum Susa I understand.
Yeah, that's why I thought maybe that's the GBV part of it, or the domestic part which is it's not intentional, but then sometimes when they, yeah.
For me, I made them. Yeah, no excuse. Wrong is wrong. Wrong is wrong.
Doesn't matter what's in.
If she talks too much, get out and shut up now. Come back, talk nicely. If she continues, get out, find somewhere to sleep. My friend, and tell them, oh, that is so glad it's absolutely no excuse, guys.
That's why even the professor of wisdom saying Kuti, he was giving an advice to a man how to escape from what is this GBV. Would say like if you are in a relationship where you have a nagging woman or a person who like you don't want to fight with that person, but you have that kind of person in the house, it is better to live at the corner, where you can find your own peace, it's better to escape from all of this stuff, like just the way, like you say, if you just doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, go, that's it. The professor didn't even go and say, oh, we must beat the woman just to make her leave. You see.
Yeah, woman, hey guys. Yeah.
I just
marriage counselors tell you that if you're not willing to talk, don't get married. Because marriage is all about talking.
I mean, I'm not a communicating
and
guy.
So when you guys get married, I'm sure you invite me.
That's very.
You invite me in your weddings. I'll come be a speaker.
I don't know when I'm gonna get married. Only God knows, man.
Yeah, make money first so that you get married.
In terms of communication, I'm not. To be honest, I'm not good. I'm not good. I mostly observe, like absorb, take everything in, and then not nonchalant type of thing. But I talk with everyone. But in terms of saying how I feel or like expressing myself, I don't. Yeah, I just.
But how is that? How is that good? That is not good.
I know, but I'm trying to be more even I fight with my aunt at home every day in terms of communication. Communicate. That's the thing that I fight with my aunt.
Because if you don't communicate, people don't assume something about you. If you don't tell the truth.
That's true, and you can't blame them after assuming because you did not say anything. Like it goes back to the fact that also when it comes to relationships, most of them don't fail because they don't love one another. It's just because there are uncommunicated expectations. You are expecting something from her, but you did not tell her. Make that make sense. Like, come on, Kanjani, bro. Like, you should, you should communicate.
Yeah, I'm struggling with that. I'm trying, trying, and just trying to be more communicative. But also, for me, I think if like okay, if I tell maybe when I'm coming to tell you something and I find you in this kind of mood, like what's the use of me saying like let me go and find and then end up not talking about it.
How
you should talk.
You will work on it. I trust you.
I'll work.
You will be fine. I guess it's time for us to go on a quick break. We'll come back again with another banger. But the one that we're going to come back with, it's the last episode on the topic. Make sure that you follow, you subscribe, you share to people who might need to hear this episode. As for us, we'll be back right shortly.
Make sure keep your connection.